And when you find such students, then even if you have to spend your days and nights teaching them, this is the one to teach. Any more questions? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I've got a question about, in my previous look into some of the hadith, I found that Kitab al-Fitan by Imam talks a lot about some of the weird hadith at that time, but during this time it can be applied that the nuclear war will happen somewhere in the future. I just want to know if it could, if that way could be accepted as additional resources.
No. The question is, he's speaking about a book of hadith, and he wants to know whether there's a reliable source of information. Now, the methodology book will teach you. The book on methodology. My book entitled Methodology for the Study of the Quran. How do you approach the quest for knowledge? You go first of all to the Quran. Gog and Magog. And you want to know about Gog and Magog. And you go to one hadith, and the hadith says that only when Nabi Isa alayhi salam returns, at that time Gog and Magog, he'll kill Dajjal and Gog and Magog will be destroyed. So fine, full stop, that's it. Full stop. We don't need to study the subject anymore. Gog and Magog will only come at that time. That is disrespect for the Quran. And if you show disrespect for the Quran, you'll pay a price for it. No, you don't begin your study with a hadith. You begin the study with the Quran. And when you have studied all the data in the Quran concerning the subject, and you have brought them together in a harmonious whole, and that is not a task for schoolboys. You have to be more than a schoolboy to do that. Only then do you turn to the hadith. And when you turn to the hadith, if a hadith is in harmony with the Quran, you accept it. If a hadith is in conflict with the Quran, like you know, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, wa na'udhu billah min hadha, married a child. He married a child. Yeah? That hadith is in conflict with the Quran, you reject it. If a hadith is neither in harmony with the Quran nor in conflict with the Quran, you accept it, but you give it a lower status. It does not have a significant role to play, a critical role to play in the pursuit of knowledge. Please study my book on methodology. Next one. And then you. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Indonesia? MashaAllah. Oh, you're the one from Taiwan. Oh, very good. He traveled all the way from Taiwan to come to attend the lecture today, mashallah.
Sorry, my question is out of topic. Actually, I'm asking regarding the issue of, just like the topic of escalating tension in South China Sea, between China, Malaysia, Philippines, and US, Japan, etc., etc. My question is, what is Sheikh's opinion regarding the Chinese role in the upcoming war? I mean, in the end.
The question is, what is my opinion? One question at a time.
I mean, the communication is just like, is it correct that we interpret Chinese as Soviet, as I read your book, you quote from Surat Al-Ma'idah 62 or something?
Okay. The question is, what in my eschatology, my eschatological analysis, is the role of China in the coming Great War? And is there any reference in the Quran to support a role for China in the coming Great War? I do not find in the Quran any evidence pertaining to China directly. But the important thing for us to recognize is that in the Quran we have Qarnayn. Qarnayn. Qarnayn in Surah Al-Kahf can mean two horns. And you don't have to send me any email to convince me it's two horns. If that's your choice, that's your choice. When I look at the word qarn in the Quran, I find that Allah always uses the word qarn to mean an age or an epoch, a generation. And so Qarnayn will be two ages or two epochs or two times. One in the past, when Gog and Magog were confined behind the barrier, and the other in the future, when of course Gog and Magog will be released. Zulqarnain used power to punish the oppressor, to confine him, to use the language of chess, to checkmate the oppressor. Cannot be destroyed, but it can be checkmated. And in the second age, in the Qarnayn, which is to come, Qarnayn, the second age, will witness the same thing again. That the people in the region of the Black Sea, is the Black Sea in the Quran? Is the Black Sea in the Quran? Is the Black Sea in the Quran? Come on, somebody. Yes, it is. The Black Sea is in the Quran. In which surah? In Surah Al-Kahf. Aynun Hamiyah. Zulqarnain reached to one end of the land, Aynun Hamiyah, meaning a body of water which is dark and murky, and it's the Black Sea. And in that region of the world in which the Black Sea is located, the second age will emerge of Qarnayn. It's two currents. That power will emerge in that region of the world, and that power will be built by Allah. Allah will make it powerful. And that power will rest on foundations of faith, not godlessness. And that power will be used in the second qarn as it was used in the first qarn, to stand up and resist the oppressor, and to support the oppressed and those who have faith and are righteous in conduct. This is Russia. This is Russia's role today. Russia is turning away from communism, away from Marxism, but there are those who are still sleeping, so let them sleep. And Russia is returning to Orthodox Christianity. Russia is recovering her spiritual soul, while the United States and Canada and Britain and France and Germany have barbarian souls. A man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate, and you call that something progressive, something worthy of commendation? That's progress? You must be sleepy. If Russia is standing up against the oppressor in the second qarn, then whoever stands with Russia is on the right side. And China is a proud civilization. Not the Chinese in Singapore I'm talking about. I'm talking about China. China will not bend her knee to the oppressor who wants to rule the world. So they're now preparing to wage war not only on Russia but on China as well. They are really stupid people. They're really stupid people. They're preparing to wage war on both Russia and China. Is China afraid? No. Russia says, we're not afraid of you. We are a nuclear power. Don't mess with nuclear Russia, said Putin. Don't mess with nuclear Russia. That's what Putin said. And Russia is not afraid of them. So they're preparing for nuclear war with Russia. And Russia says, we're not afraid of you. And they're preparing for nuclear war with China as well. And China says, we're not afraid of you. Now then, this is a war between the world's greatest oppressor that history has ever known and those who are standing and resisting his oppression. On which side should you be? If you have a telephone to your government, then call them and tell them. Whichever government you have in the world, call them and ask them. If this is a war between the greatest oppressor that the world has ever known, and those who are standing up courageously to resist his oppression, whose side should you be on? Should you be sitting on a fence? Not Imran Hosein. No, and not my students. We are on the side of the second Qarn in Qarnain. Walaikum salam.
You have always mentioned in many of your lectures about the coalition of Russia, China, but it also includes India, who are also actually very closely tied to Israel and also the US, especially on the IT side. So perhaps you can elaborate further.
Okay. Among the countries that I no longer travel to is India. Because while India is a member of BRICS, and India is proud of her friendship and alliance with Russia, India has now become Israel's most strategic ally in the world. I think India is more important than the United States now to Israel.